Welcome back to Free State Sports Pro Wrestling. We just wrapped the main episode, number 14, discussing all things NFL. Currently in week 13 of the 2024 season. Lots going on over there, so be sure to check it out. We're available on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. Links are in the description. We thank you for tuning in, as always. I'm with the boys, Andrew and Saiquan. How's everybody feeling?
Yeet.
Good.
All right. So much energy, I can hardly contain myself. All right, we got a lot to discuss in the wrestling world. We're going to be going over a recap of Survivor Series Wargames that took place last night.
Wargames.
That's right. Much better.
That's nice.
Some other exciting stuff to talk about as well. So we're going to get right into it. Saiquan brought up some things he wanted to discuss. We're going to talk about the addition of the women's mid-card titles. They announced both a women's U.S. title and a women's Intercontinental title. The U.S. title tournament was announced within the last few weeks on SmackDown. The final will crown the first ever WWE Women's United States Champion on December 14th at a Saturday night main event. Lots of people were getting behind Chelsea Green to win it. I am one of those people, by the way. What do you guys think about that title situation for the U.S. Women's title?
They're always going to screw Chelsea Green over, man. I want her to win a title. I love the idea of introducing mid-card titles. I think the women's division is packed with talent. And because there's only one main title, all that talent gets shoved into the tag division.
Mm-hmm.
All that talent gets shoved into these weird, creepy side stories.
True.
So I'm excited to have a mid-card division so we can get some other familiar faces with some titles. Not just the same old people holding the top title while everyone else competes for a tag title.
Yeah, I think for a while there wasn't quite as many women as there are men, and it just wasn't feasible. But they've got a pretty loaded roster now, so I'm excited to see what they can do with the women's division. Saiquan, how do you feel about it?
I absolutely agree with Andrew. I do believe that the tag team championships, we've said it for a while now. I do believe that the tag championships are just, they're there. They exist. There hasn't been a solid rivalry with them since they've been first introduced, even though they've been ping-ponged to about 8 teams now. And now they're about to get relinquished due to Jade Cargill's apparent injury. So with the introduction of the mid-card belts, I think they're going to be used appropriately. Hopefully, Chelsea wins at Saturday night this month, ? Is it this month, the 15th?
The 14th. It is this month.
The 14th.
Yes. We are officially in December now.
Yeet.
Yep. So I hope that they do use them appropriately. I do wish they had went for a different design because we have seen them use pretty much a carbon copy with the former Undisputed Championships. They're doing the same thing with the IC and the United States Championship. I was hoping they was going to use the old ones that they remastered, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing.
Yeah, that's fair. Talking about the Intercontinental title over on Raw, Adam Pearce revealed a brand new women's title, Intercontinental title, this past Raw, and announced that starting this coming Raw tomorrow, there will be a tournament to crown the first ever champion for that title. How do you guys feel about the Intercontinental title? I haven't looked at the bracket for the championship tournament, but who do you think should win that women's Intercontinental title?
Ooh. There's not too many women on the Raw roster right now, is there?
Not really.
Only ones I can think of is from American Made, Alpha Academy, Sarah Logan. Yep, I'm drawing blanks. Can't remember much.
Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Katana Chance will all be in the first round matches on this upcoming Monday.
What if they were to bring somebody back, like a Charlotte Flair or something?
That'd be great. Or really, like, what I would look for is not only bringing people back, but bringing people over from SmackDown as well.
What about, like, from NXT, too?
I would love some call-ups from NXT.
There's a lot of women in NXT right now.
Yeah, there
is. If they did bring back Charlotte Flair, I do believe that they should
not
have
put
her
the title
push
on her.
someone. Correct.
Yeah,
Because the last
yeah.
time we saw that, it was only due to the fact that no one wanted Ronda Rousey to have the belt anymore.
Fair.
So,
Yeah,
Fair.
true.
Or they bring back Ronda. No, I'm
Do
kidding.
you guys notice that
Oh,
Ronda's actually
Lord
been
forbid.
posting a lot of her old clips from WWE on her social media? It's kind of weird.
I did not.
Is she still wrestling in Impact?
No, she doesn't wrestle anywhere, as far as I know.
Interesting.
I think she
It
had
is
a.
interesting.
Did she not have a child a while ago?
She did, yeah.
It was me. I can confirm I'm the child.
Nice, nice. Just as I suspected.
Look on Earth.
Wow.
Welcome, Earth. All right, well, with that being said, let's talk about some war games, shall we?
War game.
Survivor Series happened last night. We all partied up to watch it. In the first match, Shinsuke Nakamura, who had just returned,
It's not the first.
what was? Oh yeah, the women's war games. I didn't catch that one. You guys can take away.
Okay,
for the women's
yeah.
war games match.
The women's War Games match happened, which was Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley versus Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. The most important thing in this War Games match was the storyline between Rhea and Liv. But what I thought was interesting, just a quick little fun thing, was a potential Tiffany Stratton cash-in. We were talking, me and Saiquan were talking pre-match about this, about what if she did cash it in. And then Saiquan pointed out it would make it a 10-man match. And I was like, I would cash it in after the match, you know? When Liv Morgan lays dead and broken.
Right.
That obviously didn't happen. But this was, it was a fun match, but it was bogged down by, like, sloppy spots, like, the setup for sloppy spots. I really can't say this match was the best on the card. I think it might have been the second worst on the card.
That's fair. Yeah, I came in a little late. I had just got off of work, so I didn't catch the whole match. I only caught the end. The last few minutes seemed decent to me, but I didn't catch the whole match. I know there was a lot of stuff I missed. So.
I think the ending was strong. What are your thoughts on this match, Saquon?
The only takeaway from it was a forced spot that they do every year where Io Sky climbs to the cage in a trash can and jumps off. I hate to say it, but most of the match was me critiquing it. Andrew at one point was like, "Are you going to watch it?" I'm like, "I can't watch it because every spot was just so overly choreographed." And then you're like, "Oh, wow, are they going to do that part?" Yeah, they are. War game matches, I most likely will say it later when it comes to the men's match. When it comes to each person coming out one by one, it's a slow build. And then once the official match starts and everyone's in the ring, that's when the real fun happens. And it's just spot after spot after spot, forced spot after spot. It was definitely like the second worst, if not the worst match of the night for me. And the outcome was somewhat unpredictable. I thought one of the bad guys to win, which was Nia Jax and company. It would have been interesting to see Tiffany cash in. She needs to cash in soon, please.
I want to see her hold it for longer.
It'll probably happen at WrestleMania, I feel.
WrestleMania. We'll see. I want her to cash in on Nia somehow, some way, for that to be a good rivalry. But it was an alright match. I wouldn't rewatch it, to be honest.
That's fair.
I thought, as we were talking about through it, because you mentioned that like it was hard for you to watch because you just wanted to critique it. And I said I'm trying not to critique it, but it was making it real hard. There was some awkward moments where they were just standing around the ring waiting for the next spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like Nia Jax took some weak chair shots to Bayley and Naomi while waiting for someone else to enter the ring.
Yeah, that was a horrible spot.
Yeah, it really was. And I believe it was Tiffany that was supposed to enter the ring, right?
I believe so. Michael missed it, but there was a spot where Nia Jax had chair in hand, and she was waiting for whomever it was to bend over to get the shot, and she just love tapped her.
I did like the fake out with Liv walking away from Rhea Ripley to the backstage and coming back with a baseball bat. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But I feel like the match had a pretty strong finish. It was just a weak build-up. Very weak build-up. Even for War Game matches.
Understandable. But in the second match, the first one that I was able to catch live, a returning Shinsuke Nakamura defeats LA Knight for the U.S. Championship. This match was about what you'd expect, nothing too crazy, but it was good to see Shinsuke Nakamura back. And he won himself a title, and it looks like he's finally going to get some proper booking. What do you guys think about this match?
I think that Shinsuke, I love the new way they're billing him.
Mhm.
I love his look. I love his...
Came out with a samurai getup.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like this match in general was the weakest match on the card. I feel like these LA Knight and Shinsuke didn't mesh well.
Mhm.
LA Knight really honestly looked sloppy in this match.
He did.
And there was a lot of like waiting for spots that happened throughout this match. So I'm happy Shinsuke won. I'm a big Shinsuke supporter. But this match just felt a little sloppy to me.
Saquon, what'd you think of the match?
I was wondering if someone was going to say something. Similar to any women's tag team match, it just came out of nowhere.
Fair.
For what
yeah.
purpose? I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I'm not
Sloppy
keeping up
booking.
with SmackDown, similar to like you guys. I'm not really keeping up. I'm only catching recaps and whatnot. But even Shinsuke's debut back onto the WWE roster, whatever you like to say, came out of nowhere. It didn't feel like a rivalry. Watched this match, I didn't know what to expect, honestly. Seeing Shinsuke win off of one finisher that Mike was surprised about, because we're so used to seeing people kick out. It threw me off guard, honestly. There was no real chemistry there. I could probably say it was definitely one of the worst matches of tonight. Maybe a match that no one's really going to remember either.
I agree. Again, definitely worst match on the card. My biggest takeaway from this match is nothing. But seriously, Shinsuke didn't really show off too much. The one thing I do like, especially about the finisher, is bringing back the expectation that a finisher can end a match.
Yeah.
Is what I wanted to say. Sorry. I just kind of...
No, you're good. It's called a finisher. It's not called put him down.
It's not a signature. It's a finisher.
It's not called a kick out at 2.5.
It should be a one and done. Like the Canadian Destroyer at one point was a finisher, but now everyone's doing it as a signature.
Boy, you guys would love AEW if you ever go over and watch some AEW.
I have some fun takes later of like people's comments that I really wanted to talk about that I saw online.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It's a little nitpicky, but it's kind of funny.
it's fair. What do you guys think it was the proper time for LA Knight to drop the title?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I
Two
think
varying opinions here.
well, maybe a little bit earlier. I feel like his run was getting a little stale anyway.
I would agree.
It's kind of hard having a face as someone to hold a title. Faces should be chasing the title, not holding the title.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a really good way to put it, actually.
It seemed like they were building up LA to lose the title to either Carmelo Hayes or Andrade or someone else. So for Shinsuke to come out of nowhere, it seemed like LA might be going on a break, maybe, or they're trying to build up to eventual
I think
another PLE match.
He's got to film some
not
more
too sure.
Slim Jim commercials.
Yeah.
with Jay and Bianca. I don't know. It's just very interesting the way that it happened.
I agree. Well, in the next match, we had Braun Breaker defeat Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser to retain the Intercontinental Championship. This match was a banger, very intense, a lot of intensity throughout as Braun continues to shine in his reign as IC champion. How did you guys feel about this match?
You want to go first, Saquon?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. Great match once again. Always a great showing by Sheamus. Even Ludwig Kaiser. I wasn't expecting what I saw. Completely forgot he was even in the match. To be honest, no respect to him. Braun Breaker just through and through, always showing that he's a freak athlete. Like his apron spot to the announcement table, I would have broke my ankle. I'm not gonna lie to you. I said
Never
last
gonna get
night,
tired of that.
It's impressive the way that this man just accelerates across the ring, even out of the ring, and the spots that he does. He makes it look so simple, but it's just unnatural. It was a good match. I do think they eventually are building up to Sheamus winning the IC championship because they said prior that's the only championship he has not won in WWE. I don't think it's
True.
going to be Braun Breaker. I think it's going to be someone else. Who that might be, I could not tell you. But it was a good match.
I'm right there with you. Actually, I mean, this is why you put triple threat matches in PLEs. I think triple threat matches are the best. They offer the best and most complex storytelling you can fit in a match without getting too much. Like War Games, right? There's a lot going on in a War Games match, but you only have to worry about 3 competitors in a triple threat match. Easy to follow. They told a great story throughout the match. Braun Breaker looks monstrous. Ludwig Kaiser, as you said, put on a pretty good showing as well. And Sheamus didn't look like he didn't belong there. They made every competitor feel welcome. This was probably my second favorite match on this card.
I would agree with all that. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I thought it was really good. It was also my second favorite match on the card. And I also love triple threats for that reason. And Braun Breaker has really grown on me. He's becoming one of my favorite current superstars for sure. In the next match, we had Gunther defeat Damian Priest for the heavyweight title. This was a pretty good back and forth title match, minus one weird fall off the top rope where both of them kind of fell opposite directions. That was right before Finn Balor came out and hit his finish on Damian, which set up Gunther's win. Yeah, Fergal.
Fergal Devitt.
What did y'all think of this one?
This one, I felt... First of all, Saiquan said this during the PLE. Forgot this match was on the PLE. Terrible build. Terrible build for this match. Honestly, I didn't know it was on the PLE until they showed the package before they went to break.
Yeah.
And that's coming from... I love wrestling. But... what they did in the ring was really good. As you mentioned, that one fall off, which turned out to be part of the show. Everyone was like, "Oh, look at that botch." Nope. It was great showing from Damian Priest and Gunther. Gunther continues to be this well-respected heel. He took out Finn Balor after Damian was taken out by Finn.
Yeah.
This is going to be a blemish on Gunther's record, and we're going to see another match between them, which I don't mind. I think they put on great matches every time. This probably wasn't as good as the first match where Gunther initially won the title off of Damian, but I can't wait for this other match to hit. I don't know when the best places to have this match is.
Yeah, that's fair. I could see it being like a... I don't know, maybe like the PLE after WrestleMania. I don't know if it really fits into a WrestleMania card, but...
Backlash.
Yeah, Backlash should be good.
Backlash makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have really good chemistry. They always work well together. Damian's mic skills have improved, too, from seeing his promos leading up to it.
Fair.
Big fan of both of them, so they put on a pretty good match.
Better than both the Women's War Games and the LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura matches. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. After that, we had the OG Bloodline win the men's War Games match. This match was filled with just as much high intensity and action as you'd expect, with all the build-up and the bad blood behind it, filled with huge spots and a shocking spot where CM Punk actually saved Roman from being put through a table, despite their beef in that build-up. Very satisfying finish, I have to say, where Solo took a finish from everybody and ended up taking the pin from Roman.
That's what I wanted to comment on.
It's since actually been announced that both Bronson Reed and Jimmy Uso were injured. Jimmy was injured with a broken toe, which Jay announced in the post-show press conference.
Ooh, that's rough.
That is rough.
He finished that match out, too, and nailed him with some
I guess
super
that's why
kicks.
he was limping when we were asking what was wrong with him.
Yeah.
But what did y'all think of the main event?
It was great. Saquon, do you want to go first on this one?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, you're good. There wasn't really a dull moment through this match. I can honestly say that. There wasn't a point in time where I was like, all right, so what's going on? What's next? There was always something happening. Each person, chemistry-wise, worked well with the other person. I wasn't sure what I expected out of Punk. We've said it before, how we wouldn't expect Roman Reigns or The Rock or Punk in this type of match just due to their age. And they showed up, and they did a great part. Hopefully, who was it? Jimmy and Bronson, you said, Mike?
Yeah, those are the two that were injured. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a great spot. That I think that was the only point where I was just like, all right, cool, hurry up, get to the point, let's go. But other than that, they did great. Hopefully, they heal up from their injuries soon. I'm excited to see what they'll do with Paul Heyman and if Punk will get involved with more Bloodline stuff in the near future,
Or
but
vice versa.
or vice versa. All in all, I think this was definitely match of the night next to the Damian Priest, and after that, the Braun Breaker match.
Yeah, this was my best match on the card, and I agree. One thing I wanted to comment on that you actually made me think of just now was what the men's War Games match did better than the women's War Game match. What the men's War Games did, because they both of these matches respectively had a top of the cage maneuver, but in the women's match, and you probably missed this. No, you didn't miss it. They did it at the same time. In the women's match, they both did the top of the cage maneuver at the same time. In the men's match, Bronson did his, and then Jimmy did his at separate times. That's good. I like that better because it doesn't make sense the way they all grouped up together in order to catch each participant. I definitely saw the injury Bronson got. I remember seeing that. He landed pretty hard on his leg.
He did.
Poor man.
He's a big boy to be landing like that too. Gee.
If you would have asked me who's going to perform the War Games maneuver, I would never have said Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that was a nuts, crazy spot for him to take.
Now, the thing I saw online that actually kind of pissed me off a little bit, and let the trolls get to me a little, was that somebody pointed out that not everyone used their finishers on Solo at the end. First of all, I want to point out that Jey Uso is so amazing at a super kick. The way he went from standing in a neutral position to Solo flinching and getting kicked in the face. I loved it, dude. That was amazing. But that's not his finisher. That's Jimmy and Jay's signature move. Or moreover, it's their neutral A. It's not really even a signature, you know what I mean?
Right.
And everyone started pointing out, oh, well, Sweet Chin Music's a finisher, and it's practically... No, it's not. They've never finished a match with a super kick. They could have put Sami Zayn away with the super kick. Yeah. Even though it looked like the most devastating move ever to hit anybody. Right. This match was great, respectively. Like, one of the best matches. I don't think CM Punk should have hit the GTS on Solo. It looks like he barely pulled that off.
Yeah, he was struggling a little bit.
I love the ending, the hugging it out, the shaking of hands between Roman and Punk, the final on stage thing between. But it felt like there was supposed to be more, and there just wasn't.
Yeah, we were waiting for somebody else to come out because it looked like Roman was looking up at the ramp the whole way back up.
And I'm not disappointed. A lot of people were disappointed there were no returns. I'm not disappointed at all.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't feel like you always need a return in moments like that.
Yeah, Finn. That's enough.
Fergal.
Definitely forgot about him until he showed up. I was like, wow.
Yeah, same.
He works here. And it made sense as well, so.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, it's pretty solid pay-per-view. What would you guys give the pay-per-view? Sorry, premium live event out of 10.
PLE, sir. Out of 10? 8. That's not bad. That's good.
Fair.
That's good.
What would you give it, Saiquan?
Honestly, a 7.
That's fair. That's
fair.
fair.
I was also going to say a 7.
I'd say an 8. I mean, oh my lord. I'm sorry, I just caught on the screen that one of the linemen completely went to snap, and he took a step forward and ate shit.
I just saw that.
Yeah, we have Sunday Night Football on in the background. Just in
no
case.
Game.
Well, that's all I got.
Definitely a 7, just due to the fact that the first 2 matches were kind of weak. Like I said previously, when it comes to War Games, where all the spots and where all the antics come from is when the official match starts. Right. With the Shinsuke match, the build wasn't proper. With the Damian match, there was a build to it. It wasn't back and forth on Raw, building up to it. And we knew what to expect from it because it's a Gunther match and it's Damian Priest.
Two very good
Now,
competitors.
Two amazing competitors. Same thing. I can say the same thing about the Braun Breaker match. I can't recall a single bad Braun Breaker match in recent history. Same thing about Sheamus. The only person I had a question mark about was Ludwig Kaiser, and he played a great part and he did his job in the match.
Very
the men's
underrated,
match,
Ludwig.
same thing. I cannot recall the last time we had a bad men's War Games match. Though there were spots that were somewhat reminiscent of the women's match, it was better executed. But just due to the fact that, once again, those opening two matches were so like I wasn't as indulged or cared about it, that's why I gave it a 7.
I agree. I agree with everything you just said. I think the first two matches could have been a little bit better, but I did love the main event. Main event was pretty much everything we expected it to be, I feel.
And more, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was real good. Yeah, overall, I thought it was a really solid show. I got just about everything I wanted out of it, so I give it a 7 out of 10 as well. Well, that's all I got. If nobody else has anything else to add for this episode.
Andrew had something to say about comments, I believe.
I did
from
already.
the wresling community. Oh, you did already?
Yeah, about, Jimmy and Jay's finishers aren't the super kicks.
I'll add to that. Not the finisher portion, but about the fans. I've already gave a PSA on the sports podcast. Please watch that. It'll be dropping this midweek. I'll give a PSA when it comes to the wrestling community. Pick your battles when it comes to wrestling. When it comes to WWE, we now have Hunter, Triple H, and he's pretty much giving the fans what you guys want. Now, when it comes to surprises, I've said it previously, we like surprises when it comes to the big PLE, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. But you can only do so much, and you got to make sense of why the surprise is happening. For example, WrestleMania. Everyone was thinking that it was going to be Stone Cold that made an appearance during the Night 2 match. I was one of them. But from a different perspective, it made more sense for Taker to be there. Not every surprise needs to happen just because.
Yeah.
And when they don't happen, you don't need to send death threats and start arguments in the comment section or directly to the person of why X, Y, and Z didn't happen.
A surprise for the sake of surprises, it's just boring. You guys might think you want that, but you don't.
Precisely.
It's just craving instant gratification. That's all it is.
It's that little extra dopamine boost in your brain.
Yeah.
But then when you actually reflect on it, it's like, oh, that was kind of stupid.
Yeah, they're just impatient. They don't want any weight.
Like, would it have been worth it for Stone Cold to really come out of wherever he is currently to WrestleMania to appear for $1 million? I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah,
that was the only reason why he would have came to WrestleMania for over $1 million.
First of all, it probably would have been worth it. Pop would have been crazy, but you know what was more crazy? The fact that no one expected the Undertaker.
Very true.
No one expected that gong. That stadium when that gong hit
shook.
Your brother was there, Saiquan.
Yep.
He told me about it. It was the most insane thing ever. No one expected that. And there's a lot of people that love Stone Cold, but there's probably a lot more people that love The Undertaker, because The Undertaker has been with the company a lot longer than Stone Cold stayed with the company.
That's true.
Yep. And story-wise, it just makes more sense. In previous years, Taker had a rivalry with The Rock. Taker is one of the people that lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yep.
There's just it wouldn't mesh if Stone Cold came out just to give a stunner to the Wayne.
It's a shame, because I really think they were also pushing for Brock Lesnar to be one of those people. But because of the allegations that happened during that time period, he couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All very valid points. But if y'all don't have anything else, we can go ahead and wrap up. So this has been another episode of Free State Sports Pro Wrestling. It's been a blast. We will hopefully see you in 2 weeks. We try to do this every other week. Sometimes things pop up, but again, we are available on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. You can catch our main episodes every other Wednesday, where we talk about the NFL and all that good stuff, and you can catch our wrestling stuff every other Friday. So Stay tuned to all that. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.